up, guys? Welcome back to Beanie Talks. It is so good to see you guys. Happy Sunday. I hope that you had a fantastic Thanksgiving. Obviously, I'm sure that a lot of you had to do things maybe a little bit differently this year than in the past. Maybe a couple less family members with you guys or just doing it at home. But I hope nonetheless that you guys had a wonderful turkey day. Even in this year, I know that there's a lot that I'm still thankful for. One of those being you guys. So I'm super excited to be doing Beanie Talks again this week. Before we get into our actual message today, I have some exciting news. Starting this week, we're going to be adding in a new section or portion of Beanie Talks. And it's going to be hidden. What we're going to be doing is we're going to start giving out some gift cards for those people that are watching Beanie Talks. So here's what's going to happen. What we're going to be doing is there's going to be a hidden message somewhere in the video. And that message could pop up at the very beginning of the video. It could pop up in the middle. It could pop up at the end. So you guys are going to have to be a little bit more perceptive. Perceptive? Is that the right word? You guys are going to have to be paying a little bit more attention, be looking for that hidden word. It's going to pop up as a text somewhere through here. That's going to be 100% up to Kayla's decision since she is editing our Beanie Talks. I'm going to send her the word. She'll put it up. What you guys are going to be doing is you guys are going to be taking that word and you're going to be messaging it to the eYTH Instagram. You're going to be sending that to the Instagram. And what we're going to be doing is on Wednesday night, we're going to select 5 random people who sent the word. So if you want to be able to get the $5 gift card to Dutch Brothers, or maybe if you don't like Dutch Brothers, or maybe there's something else you might want, we might be able to work that out because this is for you guys. But we are going to be doing $5 gift cards for 5 people every week. So make sure you send in the word, send it to the Instagram, and then Wednesday night we'll select 5 random people, whoever sent in the word, and they'll be getting a free $5 gift card to Dutch Bros this week, but we might switch that up next week. So we're super excited to start doing this for you guys because we really want you guys to be watching these Beanie Talks. There's a lot of good stuff. I know the leaders are putting in a lot of time and effort on them, and they've got some really good stuff that's actually really helpful for actual stuff that is in our lives and is relevant. So we're super excited about this, and we can't wait for it to evolve and become something exciting for you guys as well. But that's it for now. Let's go on and let's get into the... So have you guys ever noticed how much words get attention? I mean, we hear them constantly throughout our lives and we hear them every day. Obviously, you're hearing them now. But they get a lot of attention. And growing up, I don't know about you guys, but I always heard the saying that sticks and stones may break my bones, but words will never hurt me. And thinking back on that, I don't know if that's completely true. You might disagree with me, but I have some topics and lessons here that we learned from the Bible that might disagree with that statement. Another one that I remember growing up that my parents always told me is it's not necessarily what you say, but it's how you say it. So not only are we talking about the words that we choose to use, but we're also talking about the way that we're saying those words and maybe the connotation that might be behind them. And so we're going to be kind of taking a look at that because James, he writes this letter and he talks a lot about kind of what our words do in this world. So we're going to be getting in that. So the truth is that we've all had experiences where words have hurt us. It may be true that words can't physically hurt us, but both emotionally and mentally, words can be scarring. And it's not always just the words themselves. There's more going on behind that whenever we have one of those experiences where we're left hurt by something that someone said. It's the words, it's the body language, it's the tone, it's the way that they look at us when they're saying it. It's not just the words, but it's everything that happens within that interaction that can leave us pretty devastated. And I'm sure that a lot of us have people that we've looked up to, and those people themselves who we respect and we want to be like, they've also said some mean things and some negative words to people. And since we've seen these people that we think are examples of what we should be, we see that. we see them use those words, and then we start using them ourselves, even though they're not good to use. I think a big example of that would be like curse words. Maybe you watch a YouTuber, or you have friends in school that you see start using those words, and then you start using them, and it's just something about that's just your normal interaction with them. But once you're outside of that friendship, or that one-on-one, and you start using that outside, it can be hurtful to other people. I think that's a big example of something that we're kind of talking about here that we see in our day-to-day lives. I think the main thing that we want to bring up before we start getting into the scripture is that words are powerful, and words can hurt people. So now we're going to be taking a look at the scripture and see what it says about our word. So believe it or not, the power of our words is not something that we're just struggling with today. It's been something that's been a struggle throughout history. What we're going to be doing is we're going to be looking into a letter written by James, who is Jesus' brother. And when you're reading through his book, you get the feeling, you get the notion that James is straight up. He doesn't sugarcoat anything. He's not going to lie to you. He is honest and upfront, and he is frank. His name isn't Frank. His name is James, but he's a Frank. Anyways, James starts off by saying this: when we put bits into the mouths of horses to make them obey us, we can turn the whole animal. Or take ships as an example. Although they are so large and driven by strong winds, they are steered by a very small rudder wherever the pilot wants to go. Just so we're all on the same page, James here is talking about how one small thing can take control of something so large. Again, talking about how something so small like a word can really take over our entire day. Something so large, so vast, 24 hours. That's 60 minutes. I don't know the math, but a large chunk of our day could be ruined by one small second in a day. So he's kind of talking about that there. He continues, likewise, the tongue is a small part of the body. Consider what a great forest is set on fire by a small spark. The tongue also is a fire, a world of evil among the parts of the body. It corrupts the whole body, sets the whole course of one's life on fire, and is itself set on fire by hell. You see what I mean? James ain't kidding around. He's not holding back here. Now, James here is not saying that your tongue is evil. What he is saying, though, is that your tongue is powerful, which then in turn means that your words are powerful. So we get it. Our words are powerful. Our tongue is powerful. Some bad things here, some bad things there. Now, does James give us any good news here? Well, unfortunately, not really. Later on in chapter 8, he says basically that no one can tame the tongue. I don't know about you, but that's a little bit of a scary thought, that no one has ever been able to tame their tongue. I mean, I feel like my tongue is pretty tame, but if no one can, then I guess not. The good news is his letter doesn't stop there. He goes on to say that wisdom is found in humility. On the other hand, he says when you find stuff like envy, jealousy, and selfishness, you'll also find bad things as well. Then he says this: but wisdom that comes from heaven is first of all pure, then peace-loving, considerate, submissive, full of mercy and good fruit, impartial and sincere, peacemakers who sow in peace reap a harvest of righteousness. James is basically saying that when we look out for ourselves only, bad things normally come from that. But when we come from a place of humbleness, and we're actually looking for others and looking for peace, that's when we'll reap rewards in this world, and God will bless us. Think of it this way. If we plant an apple seed, we're going to get an apple tree, and it's going to grow apples. No matter how hard you plead and wish and pray to get oranges, we'll go with oranges. If you want to get oranges from an apple tree, no matter how much you want an orange to come out of that tree, you're gonna get an apple. It's the same thing with our words. Whatever we plant is what we will get. So if we plant, words of positive and grace and praise, typically the response we're going to get from the person that we're talking to is going to be thanks and gratitude and positivity. But if we plant words of jealousy or resentment or hate. We're going to get feelings of negativity or hurt or even resentment back. So it's just like that apple tree. What you plant is what you get. And so if we want to change what we plant to something good, we have to change our words to something good. And how do we do that? Well, let's apply it. So what I want you guys to do is think about a person or a group that typically you would have a harsher response to in a conversation. And it could be that's just really how you feel, or it could be joking with a friend, you know, you're being sarcastic and maybe sometimes you go a little bit too far. So what I want you to do is think of that person and think about a way that you can respond in maybe a nicer way, or how can I love them with my words instead of hurting them. Maybe sometimes it's okay to step off the sarcasm. Trust me, I use sarcasm with my friends a lot too. Probably more than I should, and I think a lot of us have that same issue. But really ask yourself, what can I do differently to love on these people that typically I'm maybe not loving on with my words? Another good question to ask yourself after you've had a conversation with that person is, did what I say hurt them, or was it helpful? Did it help them feel better about themselves, or did it hurt them and make them feel worse about themselves? Did what I say sound like something that the person that I want to be would say? Some tools that we can use in our day-to-day life. Let's say we get a text, and maybe it's an annoying text. Maybe it's your friend asking them to help them with their homework, and you just really don't want to do it. And maybe you think that you're going to respond, you know, kind of quick-witted, like, no, I'm not going to do that. Or you're going to say something hurtful. Go ahead and take a second. Don't respond to the text. Read it over. Give it a couple minutes. Obviously, you want to respond to them. Don't just ghost them. But give it a couple seconds. Let it simmer and really think over what you're about to say to them. So the main thing I want you guys to take away today is to pay attention to the power of your words and plant good things. If you're a follower of Jesus, this is more than just a good idea. This is a must. Jesus tells us to love, respect, and value others. And if we keep planting these mean words or hurtful sayings, that's not what Jesus has called us to do. We're called to place encouragement and positivity and words of praise. Imagine if you started caring more about the words that you planted. Imagine if everyone started really thinking about what they're saying before they say it. I know it's a cliche thing, we've heard it for years, but there's a reason why we continuously hear them. So that's all I have for you guys today. Again, it's one of those things where it's just something that we gotta continue practicing. I know I'm guilty of it. I'm sure that a lot of you are guilty of it. And it's just something that we gotta keep practicing. And at the end of the day, we know God's got our back. He's got the best intentions for us, and he sees us trying, and that's really what matters. So thank you guys for tuning in. I hope you guys found the word some point in the video. Again, if you did find that, go ahead and send that message to the eYouth Instagram. Caleb, if you would put that here one more time, please and thank you. And we will catch you guys Wednesday night. We will be doing, I believe, Zoom groups only. I don't know if we're doing Instagram Live, but just stay tuned to the Instagram. We'll be sending out messages on there as well as the group chats. So just keep an eye out on that. We will let you guys know what we're doing. So yeah, until next, stay safe, stay healthy, and go be the change. Thanks guys. We love you. We'll see you later. That was a really awkward leave off. I'm sorry, Kayla. Woohoo! Okay. That was awkward. I'm sorry.